Hello, podcast listeners. This is the Brendan Brown's Virtual World of Knowledge and YouTube. This is the Brendan Brown's Virtual World of Knowledge, and I'm going to give you a little skimpse of how I record my podcast episodes and show you somewhat of what I do on how to record a podcast episode. So I hope you enjoy this. I'm about to record an episode of the review of the No Job Podcast review. Hello, podcast listeners. This is the Brendan Brown's Collections of Facts and Theories podcast show. And today we are going to be talking about the No Job Podcast Review Episode 3. Is it worth it taking the risk? And what I really want to discuss is just about what Nye Simmons really discussed on what he was talking about with his podcast and what he was really saying and explaining on your jobs and what you should do. And honestly, I enjoyed what he was talking about because what he was talking about were good pointers, such as taking calculated risks. And I won't be all in order, but I'll go in once we move to that segment. Let's move on to the next segment. Okay, so we just have left introduction. Now we're in this new segment. So the first one I want to talk about, and these all may not be in order, but is calculated risk. He really explains about calculated risk and how you should really take risk with what you do, which is true, You gotta take risk with what you do. And another thing is, are you passionate for it? Like how he said, are you truly passionate about what you do? Are you doing it because you truly love it? Are you doing it for the money? And then some other good pointers he was talking about was just, you just can't do things and be passionate for it more than your family members. Your family members come first before your passions. And he also was just discussing many other things that are just very beneficial. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to play the episode this time and let you guys hear it. If you can't hear the audio, then I'll just sit down and explain it while he's talking.
You won't make it. Maybe you won't make it. Maybe you won't. But at the very least, you can show your children, you can show your community what it means to be striving for a higher ideal than to just survive.
Mm-hmm. And that's what he's explaining.
Maybe you can show your children.
And what I'll do is, guys, I'm not going to play the whole episode because I don't want it to get spoiled, but I'll play the first half of this episode so that we can just sit down and talk while it's playing. Because I'm going to do like how those movies do with audio commentary. That's what I'm going to do with this episode. And if you want to hear the audio version of my voice, you can always go to No Job Podcast and look at his
Plan of action.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what you have to do every day? Do you have to market? Do you have to post on social media?
And that's what he's saying.
Every single day
Mm-hmm.
at a certain time.
Yeah.
Do you have to work on your craft in
Mm-hmm.
home
Mm-hmm.
every single day?
Yeah.
Do you have a plan of consistent action? Next.
That's what he's
once
asking.
You've researched, then
Mm-hmm.
you've come out with a plan. You put that plan into action.
Mm-hmm.
You're employing that
Yes.
plan of action consistently.
Uh-huh.
Next up is observation and consideration.
And that's a good point that he gave out right there. Observation and consideration. And see, I'm thankful, thank God, that God came to my mind to tell me, to play this video because this is more better than for me to just keep on thinking on what he said or write down what my notes say. I want to really play the video so that I can get full clarity and you guys as the audiences can get full clarity as well.
Right? Remember, this is all on the way
Uh-huh.
of turning a gamble into a calculated risk.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about
And that gamble that he's trying to tell you to turn into calculated risk is your passion that you're doing behind your 9 to 5. Because if you realize with this podcast episode, he's always telling you that he wants you to work your passions and escape that horrible 9 to 5. It may not be overnight, but it will go soon.
Folks, because nothing in this world is guaranteed, but how do I give myself the best shot possible of doing this? How do I give my best effort to making it on the road to no job?
Yes.
You've got to observe and commit to your plan.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you've got to observe and consider your plan. See whether it's working.
Yeah.
See what needs to change.
Yes.
Ask people for feedback.
Uh-huh.
Do your own observation. Find somebody who's done this or something at least similar.
Yes.
And find out from them what they did to succeed.
Uh-huh.
Find out from them what they think is wrong with your inputs.
Mm-hmm. And there were some good pointers he's giving out, because you do need to ask people. People who are in your niche, people who are in the thing you want to do. Because if you ask them what you want them to do, it may be more better and beneficial, like I always tell you guys and gals.
Observe, lay them all out. And that's another thing. I feel like a lot of people have ideas and dreams and so-called goals, but they aren't measurable. And you have no idea if what
And the
you're doing is
reason why they aren't measurable, to add on what he's saying, is because some people, excuse me for that timer. Pardon me. I apologize for that timer. I really apologize for that timer. But the reason, to add on to what he's saying, is because some people aren't passionate about what they do, and some people just don't love what they do, and that's horrible. It's really horrible.
You don't know your numbers. I know how many downloads this podcast
Heck yeah, for me as well, for my podcast.
I know how many downloads this podcast
I know how many mine is too.
Do you know the fundamental numbers for your business? Do you know how many views you've had if you're a YouTuber? Do you know how much product you're selling? Do you know what your profit margins are?
Yeah.
Or are you just flying blind? Don't get caught up in the movies, guys. These movies following some super genius entrepreneur that doesn't even know which way is up, but somehow he's making billions. That's fake. That's not real.
That's not reality.
People who succeed are calculated. I can tell you that much. So once you've done your research, you've implemented your plan.
Heavenly research.
put it into
Please,
action.
podcast listeners.
You
Please,
do it
YouTubers, take this in.
You observe and consider the results and the fruit of your plans. To figure out whether it's working, you adjust, and then you recommit.
Yes, you do.
Because you don't get results from what you do.
You don't get that easy.
Results from what you stick to. I need you to stop referring to your dream as a dream, because a dream is...
And that's what I really like, because that's what I always been telling people. Your dreams aren't really your dreams if you think of it, because all this is fantasy, like what he said on his podcast. Dreams, really, like how he said, and let him just say it. He's going to say the same thing I said, except in a more explainable term. Let him explain it.
Ethereal. A dream, it can't be grasped, and it's always protected from criticism, because it's...
And that's, yeah, he answered my question. Well, not answer my question, but he just brought more confirmation and more add on to what I always said in the past, guys and gals. Your dreams are not real. It's your goals. That's what you say. Not dreams, but goals.
Head hidden away. It's protected from the reality of the real world, but I'm sorry to break it to you. Your dreams can't come true until they touch the real world. Touching the real world looks a lot like failure. Looks a lot like not knowing, realizing you didn't know what you were talking
Failure
about.
is important.
Realizing you don't know anything about the industry and learning hard lessons and having to adjust. Stop calling it your dream and start calling it your risk. Because I don't care about your dreams.
Especially as us as upcoming entrepreneurs.
But your risk might work out.
It would. You don't know. But even with my grandfather, we took a risk earlier today as this recording, just taking out the trash. And we thought that box wouldn't fit in, but it did fit in because it was a risk. Sometimes when you take risks, it may happen. Sometimes when they take risks, it may fail. And it may not fail because it wants you to fail. You may fail just to learn that lesson.
Have a chance of working out, and you increase those chances and make that risk you're taking more and more likely to work out for you. Again, with the level of your research, with the level of your planning.
And your intellect. That's another one.
With putting that plan into action. With your consistency in adhering to that plan and its actions.
Yeah.
To honest observation and consideration of your results.
Agreed.
To adjusting and recommitting on your path to no job. Forget your dreams. Nobody cares.
Thank you.
Take your risk. I'm Najee Simmons, and this is the No Job Podcast.
Excellent. He's not done yet, though. Boy, that's some good theme music.
Why are we so frustrated at our dumb jobs?
Because they don't have any choice. Some people weren't born like how we are now as Gen Z to really, operate with technology and YouTube. Back then, there wasn't really no YouTube. You really had to actually learn from real people and go to work and just work a boring 9 to 5. Things are different. There's a lot of reasons behind it, but I don't want to explain it all because it would just prolong the whole episode. So let's just continue on what we're doing and not get off topic.
I'm not asking you what you don't like about your job or what you hate about it.
Thank you.
I'm asking you why you're frustrated there.
That's what he's asking.
I'm asking why you're still there.
Yeah.
Why still go back to
and explain and add on what he's saying. Why are you still there? Why are you still there? Why are you still there being boring? Why are you still there hating it? Why are you going there? I hate my 9 to 5. I wish I was an artist. Well, if you're an artist, start now. You can still start now. You choose to quit. You choose to wait till you get to 50 years old just to be a boring slob and not do nothing and work your worry life, your horrible life. You could be doing something when you were 20, but you chose to work at 9 to 5 because your parents said so. And that's a shame. You shouldn't worry about what your parents say. So, like how that man said yesterday, earlier on this episode, take calculated risk. And that's what you have to do, even with me. Because honestly, I'm thinking of not going to college. I'm thinking of just graduating high school and doing what I have to do. I'm not going to explain the rest, but you'll see, or I'll tell y'all in the future when that time comes, what I'm going to be doing after post high school. But honestly, to tell you now, only one thing I want to tell you is that I honestly think of not going to college. And it's a calculated risk. Who knows? Maybe not going to college may benefit me. Maybe it won't. We don't know. But that's what risks are for. You're supposed to take risks, guys and gals. I hope this episode was just one of the best episodes because I am working hard on it and I'm enjoying this. My passion side is really coming in a lot because I love saying things like this because people got to realize that you can do whatever the heck you can do if you just put in effort and like how Nige Simmons says, take calculated risks.
Sitting in your frustration and really doing nothing about it.
Not
doing enough on the side to have a realistic expectation of being able to transition into what you want to do. Why do you remain frustrated at your job? Why are you clocking in? Why are you sitting at your desk just mad and disappointed and sad when you know there's something that you would rather be doing? I know the answer.
What is it, Nige?
It's because transitioning to what you want to do, the process of transitioning is actually harder than your dumb job.
Wow.
Right?
I agree.
Your dumb job is dumb and it sucks.
And that's what I just said earlier.
To stay there. Because the process of making a change, especially a change that hasn't been laid out for you, whose steps haven't been mapped out for you to follow, that society hasn't preordained for you.
Yeah.
Making a change like that is difficult, and it is much harder than showing up to the same place every day, even if you hate being there. But the fact of the matter is, things will never change from you they will never change for you until you embark on this journey.
Yeah.
Why is it hard? Why is it hard?
Why?
It's hard
Why?
you're stepping into the unknown.
No. But tell me down, because podcast listeners, I'm sorry, but I'm recording a YouTube video while, consistently trying to record a podcast episode, and also you YouTubers, I'm recording a podcast episode while watching a YouTube video, so that both of you guys don't get confused. I'll be talking to both audiences. I'm still talking to both audiences, but for certain things and things on the platform, I'll be talking. So for YouTubers, generally for y'all, put your comments down below. Why? Go back to this question you were saying. Excuse me, guys. Let me listen again.
On this journey. Why is it hard?
Yeah, that's the question. Comment that down below. Why is it hard? And guys, tell me, what are things that you're passionate about? Put it down in the comments below. So I can see it all.
It's hard because you're stepping into the unknown.
Yes.
That's understandable. It's difficult because you're going into an environment that you can't control, or at least your control of this environment is very limited. And we always come back to this question, and I understand why. People want to know, what if I fail? Well, I said
And
this
you
episode is
shouldn't
all.
be scared because this brings confirmation right to back what he said earlier. Take a calculated risk, you know. And I'm not upset or anything. I'm just very excited. But this goes back to what he just said. Take a calculated risk.
Risk. But risk
Hold on, what you just said?
this question, and I understand why. People want to know, what if I fail? Well, I said this episode is all about risk.
Yes.
But risk doesn't have to be absolute. Why do you always perceive everything in terms of all or nothing? Why can't you risk some things but not everything? Why can't it be in your control what you risk and what you don't? It absolutely can be, it absolutely should be, and it absolutely is. And right now, you are risking nothing except your happiness in life by staying where you are and doing nothing to change the situation. I'm not saying to quit your job tomorrow. I did that stupidity, and I wouldn't recommend it. But if you're not working a plan to make a difference in your life, you're always going to feel the way that you feel right now. And if feeling this way isn't okay for you, then do something about it.
Thank you. I mean, me and IG, honestly, by both of us feeling like this, we are just being serious. You got to really put in the effort. I'm not lying. You gotta put in the effort. I know you guys and gals are probably just laughing at me being so hyped, but you gotta put in the effort, whatever you're passionate about. I go so hard on this. I petition on this many days, every day, on my YouTube channel, on my social, on everything. I petition. You do whatever the heck you want to do, because if you do what you love doing, you will feel better. Oh, boy.
Idea, and this hits home for me. If the idea of your child feeling that way for her life, for his life, isn't okay for you, then you need to set a better example. And if maybe you won't make it.
Thank you, Nige.
Maybe you won't make it. Maybe you won't. But at the very least, you can show your children, you can show your community what it means to be striving for a higher ideal than to just survive.
Thank you.
Maybe you can show your children what it means to go after their purpose in life.
Yes!
Maybe you can do that. Even if you do fail, even if it doesn't work out, this thing that you've been thinking about, dreaming about for a long time, this thing that you've been fixated on, even if it doesn't work out, what if it's the thing that leads to the thing? What if it's not the thing, it could be the thing that leads to the thing? What will rise from the ashes of your failures if you are brave enough to risk failure in the first place? How many successes, how many things that you love and enjoy are the result of someone failing and discovering something they hadn't thought about before? Maybe the dream you have in mind right now is not your destiny. But maybe in pursuing it, you'll uncover avenues in your life that you've never even considered before that could lead you to a great place.
Agreed.
You don't know.
Yeah.
But what you do know is that you're not satisfied with your situation right now. And I know for me, and I hope and pray for you, that's motivation enough.
Yes, it is. For me, it was.
Take a risk. This is the No Job Podcast.
Wonderful episode. Wonderful episode. Wonderful episode. Wonderful episode. So I hope you guys just enjoyed this wonderful episode. Let's move on to the epilogue. So honestly, guys, I don't want to make an epilogue because basically everything was just explained in that whole segment. And this was the largest segment I ever made for a podcast review. So I'm thankful that you guys tuned in and listened. And let's just move on to conclusion. So what we learned from Nige Simmons is that, like how that podcast episode said, is it worth taking a risk? And I want you guys to put yes or no under the comments down below, YouTubers. Tell me, is it worth taking the risk to work your passionate job? Is it worth taking the risk to just pursue whatever God intended you to do? Is it worth the risk? You know, like how Nige said, is it worth the risk? Tell me that on the comments down below, YouTubers. Tell me. And for you podcast listeners, y'all voice message me through via Anchor or do whatever the heck you can do via voice message me. Email me. Tell me, is it worth taking the risk? Is it? I hope you guys just enjoy this wonderful episode. I hope you guys and gals just have a wonderful Mother's Day with all of your mothers. Continue to stay safe, stay blessed, and with COVID going around, things are going crazy, but pray to God that everything goes great. Alrighty, guys.